and welcome to Spartan Football Weekly. I'm Justin Allegri. San Jose State still in search of their 6th win of the season to make them bowl eligible. Tonight on the show, we'll talk to San Jose State head coach Ron Carragher as we preview the Navy game this Friday night. We'll also hear a story about Benet Benwickery, the senior defensive back from Get Sports Focus. But first, let's revisit the highlights against Nevada.
Here we go to the highlights. San Jose State trying to get their 6th win and become the first team ever to go to UNLV and Nevada in the same season and get both wins on the road. Not off to a good start, though. Nevada running back Kendall Brock scores from a few yards out and makes it 7-0. And then the Spartans get their first possession, an early indication of the type of night it was going to be for San Jose State. Here's a dropped screen pass to Tyler Winston. That play usually works very well for San Jose State. Big play to Hansel Wilson, though. They tried one earlier on the play-action fake. Here's the second attempt, 56 yards to Hansel Wilson, his only catch of the game. San Jose State in the red zone and fails, wheels to his right, then throws across his body and against the grain to Billy Freeman, who takes it in for the score, his second of the season, and San Jose State led 10-7. Nevada regained the lead, and on one bright spot that the night had was Austin Lopez. Here is his second field goal of the half from 44 yards out, and San Jose State was down 14-13. Not long after that, a nice adjustment catch in the end zone made by Brandon Wimberly, who was the top receiver for the Nevada Wolfpack. 21-13 Wolfpack with the lead. Then a boot from 50 yards away from Lopez, and it was his 19th of the year, which is a single season record for San Jose State as a place kicker. Second half, the Spartans were shut out, mostly because some stout defense being played by the Nevada D, but they also had some big plays on offense. Here is an end-around reverse to Richie Turner for 35 yards. Then a 35-yard touchdown run from Don Jackson furthered the gap and made it 28-16. And this is the play here that really iced the game in terms of what Nevada was going to do. It was a punt that San Jose State could get the ball back with about 9 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter and try and do something in terms of a comeback. But poor Tim Cawley, he had a little trouble with the wind and moving to his left, and he dropped the football. Nevada Wolfpack recover, and they go on to win in Reno. Final score 38-16. San Jose State still looking for that 6th win of the season. And the Spartans will play Navy this week. Here's what San Jose State head coach Ron Carragher had to say after the game.
No, every game's different, and I think they did a good job, and I think we didn't execute in the second half like we needed to compete and to be a really solid team.
When you go into halftime and you try to make some fixes and they come out and they're still able to do everything they did in the first half, how disappointing is that as a coaching staff to see that?
Say that again.
When you try to make adjustments at halftime and you come out and they're still able to do everything they were doing in the first half, how disappointing?
Well, they make adjustments too, and some of the things they did differently second half. I think their passing game was better off. It seemed like, at least in the third quarter. So it's frustrating because you go in, you make the changes, you see you're there, and we weren't playing great football by no means in the first half, but I expected us to come out, and my expectations were to come out and really put it together in the second half, and we didn't. We just, I thought we played poorly and didn't capitalize when we had opportunity.
Obviously, the bowl hopes are shrinking as these losses come the last few weeks. How do you guys, find a way to rebound and give yourself a shot?
Just like I told the guys, that we need to rally and we need to. Where's the leadership of this team? How do we want to finish? And we need to rally as a group and finish strong and take care of business. And it's going to be a tough week, no question. Get in at 5 a.m. Got a short week, and we think this misdirection offense is tough. When we play Navy, that'll be tough. But it's across the board. All phases of tonight did not meet the criteria of what we asked for from an execution standpoint. So again, we as coaches, myself, we as coaches, we need to look hard at decisions we make and choices we make, and go back to the drawing board and see how we can do best.
Did you see your team reacting right emotionally on the sideline? Did you see
Yeah, you know, I do think our guys played hard. I really do. I'll watch the film to confirm that, but I think we played hard, and I think we were into it, and the attitude was good, and all that. We just, for whatever reason, didn't come through and execute. And they moved the ball well, and we moved the ball okay, but we didn't punch it in the first half. And in the second half, we punted the ball too many times and didn't move it.
What are your biggest concerns about the defense right now?
I'd just say open field tackling. I think that's an area that maybe took a step backward tonight. I think we improved. I think after the Minnesota game back then, we addressed it. We focused on it. I thought we got better. We might have taken a step backward tonight. So that's probably like the biggest area.
What's the sense of urgency on this team right now? Because I mean, obviously, not making the bowl this season would be quite disappointing, I would think. And you know, the next two games are going to be tough. What's the sense of urgency like?
Well, right now I'm focused on this game right here. I talked to the guys, and I need to watch the film. And it's going to come around fast, but we have 2 games left. And how do the seniors want to finish the year? My focus is I want to play to our potential. The bowl game, that's great. That's great. But I want to play to our potential, and I want to improve. And I don't think we did that tonight. I think we were a better team than we executed and played tonight. And I think that's the thing. So one of our goals is we do want to go to a bowl, but I really want our team to play at the level, at a high level. We didn't get that tonight.
We'll take our first break here on the show. When we return, Get Sports Focus will have a story about senior defensive back Benet Ben-Wickery. More on Spartan Football Weekly when we come back.
Una más. Come on, baby. Una más.
Una más.
Una más. We taste better for lunch or dinner.
It takes intense preparation, finesse, and precision to be crowned as the king in a unanimous decision. It bobs and it weaves around every corner. With its hit list of features, this car is a performer. So roll on to victory with the path of least resistance. The new 2014 Scion TC is made to go the distance.
Did you know that Sarah Winchester had a crew of carpenters building 24 hours a day for 38 years? It's true. Her mansion grew to 160 rooms during continuous construction from 1884 to 1922. And she didn't have to worry about building permits. Come and see their beautiful but bizarre handiwork. Guided tours daily at the world-famous Winchester Mystery House, San Jose. Minutes away, ages apart.
It has been another great season for senior defensive back Benet Ben-Wickery. He's had a span of 4 interceptions in 4 straight games. And Get Sports Focus reporter Angela Santora gets to sit down with the senior defensive back.
My name is Benet Ben-Wickery. I'm a senior cornerback here at San Jose State. I'm from Los Angeles, California. Went to Sarah High School in Gardena. We won the state championship my senior year. Spartan football is an equivalent to being a warrior. Great, and most definitely have a lot of teammates here that know what that means, and they understand that it's all about brotherhood and having love for one another and making sure that we pick each other up, because without each other, there's no way we can have success. Last year definitely was a great season. We went 11-2. And going into this year, came out, had a good win against Sac State. And then for the rest of that, we played Stanford and Minnesota. And those are very good teams that will capitalize on your mistakes. And those little minor mistakes that we would let slide came to bite us. Utah State game, got the concussion. It was a scary moment, I guess, to everyone else, because, I mean, I didn't really know what was going on. I just knew that it was a flat route, big guy got the ball, so I just tried to do my best and make him, sacrificing and making the tackle for the team, just because it's about that brotherhood. I didn't want him to just be able to run and make another play, just about getting a stop. Unfortunately, collided heads with them and got the concussion. I mean, but that whole situation, though, to me, when I was on the field, and even though they carted me off in the stretcher and everything, I was fine when I was in the stretcher. I remembered the score, I remembered the time, I remembered everything that was going on. So we knew that it was just a precaution. They made me aware that it was just a precaution, so I wasn't too worried about it. And I knew that our training staff here was going to take very good care of me, and coaches weren't going to let anything happen to me. So I was okay. Basically, we learned that the little things do count. You know, just little things about coming dressed to meetings the proper way, or we understand that we need to focus and pay attention to detail, look at our coach, look at our keys, be exact in what we need to do. Each week, coaches have done a good job in scouting the other team's players and knowing who their best receiver is, or knowing who their target receiver is. And they know that if they put me in a matchup and tell me that this is what your job is, that I'm going to watch as much film, I'm going to study the person as much as I can. So when it comes, it slows down in the game for me. So it's just a lot easier, and it doesn't seem as hard as people may think it would be in the game, because we practice it so much during practice time.
Strategies, just listening to coaches, understanding the plays, and understanding, watching film, knowing what the other opponent's going to do. So watch a lot of film, understand what they're going to do, puts me in position to make those plays.
I have a couple things that motivate me. One being just my family. I have so much family support. My family's always at the games, and mom, dad, grandmother, aunts, and uncles. So I just play to make them proud. And I also, like I said, we also, as a team, can treat each other like family. So I play for them too, because I consider them, everyone on my team is a family member. For the rest of the season, break this career interception record. That's first and foremost. I want to be able to do that here, get my name in the record books. And then after the season, definitely looking forward to hopefully getting my foot in the door in the NFL and doing things like that. But I mean, if that doesn't work, I definitely want to work with kids. I like working with kids. I enjoy youth, and I think that'll be a good area for me. If you're gonna do something, why not do it to the fullest? So for me, I want to play football, so why not study football? Why not practice the things that are going to allow me to continue playing the game of football? Working with kids, I enjoy working with kids. Why not, whenever there's an opportunity, like at the child care, at the child developmental center, why not take that opportunity to go work with kids? So just whatever you choose to do, just make sure that you do it 100% and don't let anyone else outwork you for it.
We'll take another break here on Spartan Football Weekly. When we come back, we'll talk with San Jose State head coach Ron Carragher, previewing the Navy game. More on the program when we return.
The Learfield Sports Directors Cup is the officially sanctioned annual award recognizing all-around excellence in men's and women's collegiate competition. NACDA and USA Today co-founded this esteemed honor in 1993, still widely recognized as the crowning achievement in college athletics.
Uno más. Let's go, uno más.
Uno más. Uno más. We taste better for lunch or dinner.
Sergio Romo, pitcher and two-time World Series champion, a Bay Area legend. E40, platinum recording artist and actor, a Bay Area legend. Kinder's Barbecue. 3 generations of hard work and family pride. Award-winning barbecue, sauces, and meats. Kinder's Barbecue, a Bay Area legend.
Welcome back to Spartan Football Weekly. Now joined by San Jose State head coach Ron Carragher. And Coach, I guess there's no other way to put it, just a tough, disappointing loss last weekend to Nevada. When you look over the film, what was it that you saw from them, both defensively and offensively? Because I think the key to that game was that they ran the ball very, very well, and they limited Jared Lawson and Thomas Tucker.
Definitely. It was a tough one, and as I watched the film, I thought in the trenches, I thought they did a very good job. Their double teams, making the blocks, and did an outstanding job. And we didn't play in the trenches as we wanted to, as we needed to win that game. And that's just not saying up front, because it goes all across the board. Yeah. But that was one area that I thought stood out. Against a team that runs the ball well, and against a team that we thought we could have run the ball a little more effectively. So that happened. That was probably the toughest obstacle.
Now, past couple of weeks, the run game's been a little challenging for San Jose State. Did you see maybe something that the Wolfpack saw that San Diego State did well and tried to replicate that against you?
There were a few things that they did that the Aztecs did, but a different type of offense, a misdirection offense, pistol offense with a lot of misdirection, and I think our guys got caught up in some of that misdirection, and that's where you saw sometimes, and their quarterback, give him credit, does a great job right in that zone, and the last second he pulls it when the backside end squeezes down, and he runs out the back door and makes a nice gain. So that was a big part of it, one of the areas that stood out as well.
Yeah, we talked about Fajardo's ability to run, but I think what made him an effective runner in that game was his ability to sell the option, because some quarterbacks can just show it, but he was really selling it.
No, he does. They do as good a job as anyone, and they spend a lot of time. That's a big part of their game is the zone keep, and that goes back to Kaepernick, and that's the pistol offense, how it started. And unfortunately, we didn't play as sound and as gap sound as we needed to on that side of the ball. Just like the offensive side, we didn't do as good a job comboing and working up and creating movement and openings for our run game.
Now, we talked about the special teams prior to the game too, and they struggled again. What do you tell a player like Tim Crawley, who looked like he was trying to make a big play for his team on that punt that he dropped, trying to make a big play, and freshmen sometimes make mistakes.
Timmy is just a great young man, and leaves his heart and soul on the field. He gives it his all, and has brought so much to our football team, our offense and our kicking game. That was a tough night. When the ball got held up there a couple times, he stayed away, windy conditions. Another time he went to fair catch it, and he got hit pretty good. Yeah. I don't know if it carried over or not, but he went to catch this one in the last second. He had to make a last second adjustment, and he dove for it, and he didn't catch it securely, and the ball got on the ground. So I just pulled Timmy aside, and hey, Timmy, keep your head up, keep positive. You've done so much, and we'll continue to do so much for this team. We need you. Let's bounce back, and he will. He's an upbeat, positive young man, and he'll bounce back.
I think it was important too that you got him back out there, and he caught another what was a kickoff later in that game.
Right.
So just in terms of his psyche, I think.
Right.
Also, special teams. Got to talk about Austin Lopez. We've talked about it a couple times this year, but. Ice in the veins again, 3 field goals for you, and now the all-time leading single-season field goal man for San Jose State.
Yeah, it was nice to see him bounce back. We had a tough one against San Diego State, a kick that got blocked, and Austin to bounce back this week and get 3 kicks over 45 yards. I thought the nicest was the end of the first half. We drove down and got him in position to kick it, and he got it. He might have had another 5 or 8 yards on that kick. He got it through, but really pleased. And it's the unit across the board, the operations, Ryan DeSelvo with the snap, Billy with the hold, and Austin with the kick. I thought they did a nice job.
Yeah, it seemed like the first kick that he had in that game, I think it was 47 yards, maybe.
Right.
Didn't have as much on it, but then maybe had the confidence later on.
Yeah, he did. He got a little more leg into it on the deeper one, and interesting. The deeper one was a little bit against the wind, although it was a shifty wind that night. But it was just nice to see good execution on that unit.
All right, we'll take a quick break with San Jose State head coach Ron Carragher. More on the show when we come back. We'll preview the Navy game.
It takes intense preparation, finesse, and precision to be crowned as the king in a unanimous decision. It bobs and it weaves around every corner. With its hit list of features, this car is a performer. So roll on to victory with the path of least resistance. The new 2014 Scion TC is made to go the distance.
Did you know that Sarah Winchester had a crew of carpenters building 24 hours a day for 38 years? It's true. Her mansion grew to 160 rooms during continuous construction from 1884 to 1922. And she didn't have to worry about building permits. Come and see their beautiful but bizarre handiwork. Guided tours daily at the world-famous Winchester Mystery House, San Jose. Minutes away, ages apart.
Una más. Come on, baby. Una más.
Una más.
Una más. We taste better for lunch or dinner.
Welcome back on Spartan Football Weekly, continuing to talk with San Jose State head coach Ron Carragher. And now you step outside of the conference, which is kind of odd late in the season. Is there any difference stepping outside of the conference this late?
Well, it's a little different in that we're not playing a Mountain West team, but it's another game, another chance, another opportunity, national television. The game moved up to Friday night. And a great opportunity and a chance for our team to get that 6th win to be bowl eligible. And so our guys are excited. They look forward to it and really encouraged about the practice we've had thus far and ready to go on Friday.
Now, Navy's such a complicated offense. Is that something you go over the course of the year and try and kind of do little points on them and instill something earlier in the season and then keep touching on it as you go along?
You do. During fall camp, you sprinkle in a little bit here and there, but it's so hard during the course of the season, during the week by week, because you don't want to pull away from opponents you're playing. But what they do is so unique, this midline triple option football, that they're masters at deception, at misdirection, if you will, of football plays where you feel like the ball's going one way and it counters back the other way. And it calls for the players to be very disciplined with their eyes, meaning you can't just look at the ball and follow the ball, because what happens, you see the ball, you follow the ball, you go after the ball, and you vacate your gap, and now the ball comes back into that gap that you vacated, and it's a big run for the offense. And so our players need to be disciplined and gap sound and have good eye discipline.
How difficult is that to have the eye discipline you're talking about for the defensive line, because they're trying to get into the backfield, after the quarterback? How difficult is it for them to see where they're going with the ball?
It's tough, and it's just like watching a game of football on the television. Where do our eyes go? Go to the quarterback all the time, and we follow the ball. And you can't play effective defense when you do that. You have to hold your gap, you have to read your keys in order to have every gap secured across the board.
Well, it's really been Keenan Reynolds, their starting quarterback, who has most of their rushing yards, but they have a balanced attack. I think 9 guys have over 100 yards on the ground this year, 10 guys with the touchdown. So who do you prepare for? I mean, obviously Reynolds is key, but
he's the main guy. He's over 1,000 yards in gross rushing, and he'll keep that option. He'll pull it from the fullback on the midline dive, and he'll run out, and if it starts to open and you have guys going to cover the pitch, he'll tuck it and run it. And he does a good job. He's quick, he's athletic, and then he throws the ball well on the perimeter as well, so we have to be aware of that.
Does he do many play actions with him
They do. They do a nice misdirection play action. 3rd and long is the one formation that you know they're in a drop back type look, and that's where they run drop back offensive style passing. But you got to get them in 3rd and long, and that's another task to get them in that
And now, do
position.
they have specific running backs that kind of go left to right, up the middle, and the red zone guys? Because so many guys run the ball.
Oh, yeah, they got their fullback who cheats up, and he's the midline guy who will run up, but the 2 wings as well. Those guys are the motions. They start in motion one way, but that doesn't mean he's going to come all the way around. He may start and go back, and they're really good at getting to 3-by-1 instead of 2-by-2 look with that motion. And so the defense has to be disciplined to follow that motion and stay with it so we can adjust on our defensive front and balance out the offensive attack.
And they go with a pretty big offensive line most of the time.
It's a pretty good group. It's not the biggest line that we'll see. Just the academies play with those guys that they have to have. They're more on the athletic side, guys who can run. They do a good job cut blocking down the field at the line of scrimmage. When you play Navy, you have to be prepared because it's going to be a physical game.
Now, defensively, Navy has had some struggles on defense. They allow over 400 yards a game, and some of those to opponents that don't have winning records this season. So they have struggled there.
Sure, but those guys are very gap sound. They're a disciplined football team that plays for 60 minutes, and they've had their moments. They've been competitive against a really good Duke team, and they've had some nice wins against some Notre Dame. They were very competitive to the very end. So they're a good team. They're bowl eligible with their 6 wins, and our guys know that they're coming to town and they're going to want to impress their West Coast fans that will come to the game. But we know we got to take care of business.
Now, they've only had 9 sacks this year. Maybe that doesn't speak too much, but it doesn't seem like they're getting too much pressure on the quarterback. Does that favor David Fales in the offense?
It could. It could. David, our line needs to be prepared, and because they do a variety of blitzes, and we need to be able to pick that up. And then certain times when they get in certain coverages, we're going to need David to be able to tuck it away and run it because that creates another attack mode for us. But looking forward to it, and our guys are encouraged and can't wait for Friday night to come.
Final question I'll ask you here, Coach, is they are the least penalized team in FBS football, which speaks to partially probably the discipline that they get from the Naval Academy. But how important is it for your team to stay disciplined when you don't get those extra yards tacked on?
Well, it is important, but I know this, discipline or penalties does not equate always to winning percentages. You think that statistic is not the most it doesn't correlate the most, and the reason being the physicality of the game of football. You never want to take away the aggression, and there's some penalties that, I don't want to stomp it out, the aggression in my team, because it's a physical game and we got to play that way. But we don't want stupid penalties either. So our guys have to be able to keep themselves in check, be disciplined, because we're going to play a team, as you pointed out, will not commit many penalties.
All right, that's San Jose State head coach Ron Carragher. Thanks for coming on the show, Coach.
Thank you, Justin.
More on Spartan Football Weekly when we return.
Sergio Romo, pitcher and 2-time World Series champion, a Bay Area legend. E40, platinum recording artist and actor, a Bay Area legend. Kinder's Barbecue, 3 generations of hard work and family pride. Award-winning barbecue, sauces, and meats. Kinder's Barbecue, a Bay Area legend.
Uno mas.
Let's go,
Uno mas.
Una mas. We taste better for lunch or dinner.
The Learfield Sports Directors Cup is the officially sanctioned annual award recognizing all-around excellence in men's and women's collegiate competition. NACDA and USA Today co-founded this esteemed honor in 1993, still widely recognized as the crowning achievement in college athletics.
That's it for this week's show. Again, San Jose State takes on Navy this Friday at 6:30. Tickets are still available at 408-924-7589 or sjsuspartans.com. If you can't make it to the game, ESPN2 will televise it, and 1590 AM KLIV will have the call on the radio. Thanks for watching this week. We'll see you next time.